Welcome back, my lovely listeners, to the next gripping installment of The Silent Witness. In Chapter 3, we left Emily Harper on the edge of paranoia as she uncovered subtle yet chilling details in her sketches, details that might hold the key to solving the crime. Detective Ryan Cole's investigation intensified as his concern for Emily's safety deepened, but danger was creeping closer with every passing moment. Tonight, in Chapter 4, a canvas of lies, Emily's world is shaken by a revelation that ties her to the victim in ways she can no longer ignore at daily stress busters. Trust will be tested, secrets will surface, and a shadowy figure steps closer into view. Let's delve deeper into this tale of suspense and unravel the threads of Emily's hidden past. Emily Harper sat before her canvas, her fingers tracing the edges of a charcoal sketch she'd abandoned days ago. Something about this one felt different, heavier. She hadn't realized it before, but the face of the victim, etched in stark lines of shadow and light, was eerily familiar. She stared at the sketch, memories surfacing like ghosts from the corners of her mind. The victim wasn't a stranger. He was someone she had crossed paths with years ago. The memory was faint but undeniable, an intersection of lives she'd kept buried deep within her. The revelation felt like a crack in her carefully constructed world. A past she had hidden, even from herself, now threatened to surface, pulling her closer to a danger she could neither predict nor escape. Across town, Detective Ryan Cole leaned over his desk, the glow of a single desk lamp illuminating the growing evidence pinned to the board in front of him. Each piece seemed to paint a fragmented story, but it was Emily who held the missing puzzle piece. Her behavior over the past few days lingered in his thoughts. The hesitation, the fear, and now, the secrecy. He knew she wasn't telling him everything. Her reluctance to fully trust him wasn't surprising, but it frustrated him. He couldn't protect her if she kept him in the dark. As he reviewed the case file, a nagging detail caught his attention. The victim's background held threads that led back to Emily's neighborhood, faint connections that seemed too coincidental to ignore. His concern for her safety grew, but so did his suspicion that she was more entangled in this than she was willing to admit. As the night deepened, Emily couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The city outside her window had gone quiet, the glow of distant streetlights casting eerie shadows against her walls. She reached for the curtains, hesitating as her gaze drifted toward the darkened apartment across the street. And then she saw it, a figure, barely visible in the shadows of the alley below. It stood motionless, its presence more unsettling than if it had moved. Emily's heart raced as she backed away from the window. Emily's mind churned with the weight of her revelation. She knew she couldn't hide the connection between herself and the victim from Ryan much longer, but the thought of revealing it filled her with dread. Trust had begun to grow between them, but this secret could destroy it in an instant. She looked at the sketch again, her hands trembling as she folded it into her journal. The truth was dangerous, not just to her but to the delicate bond she had begun to form with the detective. Yet, withholding it felt equally perilous, like walking a tightrope with no safety net. In the silence of her studio, she realized there was no turning back. The past had already started bleeding into the present, and the shadow in the alley was proof that someone else knew her secrets. In the quiet of her studio, the past and present collided, painting a picture too vivid to ignore. The canvas of Emily's life was no longer blank, but a tapestry of secrets, danger, and fragile trust. As the shadow in the alley grew closer, she realized the lies she had hidden were no longer hers to control. Here is our tonight's poetic verse. A shadow stirs where secrets lie. The water waits, the truth runs dry. A canvas filled with what was lost. The price of trust, a heavy cost. As Emily and Ryan inch closer to the truth, the cost of uncovering it becomes increasingly perilous. Who is the figure in the shadows? And what role does Emily's past play in the unfolding mystery? Join us next time for Chapter 5. When the truth bleeds, where the danger becomes undeniable, and sacrifices must be made at daily stress busters. And now, dear listeners, a question for you. If revealing a secret could save someone else but destroy your trust with another, would you tell it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, Stay safe and keep searching for the truth hidden in plain sight.